All right, we're back. Morse Code Podcast, Dan Morse, Soapy Pre-App, episode 30
32.
something.
32.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
That's magic.
The Kevin McHale. Oh, yeah.
Or Kevin McHale, whatever.
Yep.
Toss up who's more memorable player. Episode 32, here we go. So as you can probably see by the title description, by the photo, by whatever, we are going to be joined momentarily by Kyle Draper, who is all things pre- and post-game Boston Celtics on NBC Sports Boston here locally. If you're a Celtics fan, if you live here in the New England area, I'm sure you know who Kyle is. Great dude. Really lucky to have him come on. Very, seriously, very, very generous with his time as being literally in the middle of the NBA restart. We happened to catch him on a Celtics off night, which obviously helps. But we'll get into that interview shortly. We talked, I don't know, what did we talk about? We talked about hoops, obviously, Celtics, some music, some lobster rolls.
Yeah, we made him rank some pillars of Philadelphia because that's where he's from versus some like Boston centric stuff. And you might be you should tune in for his answers.
I'll be honest, he had some scorching takes. Borderline like scorching.
Like the least. Like I say in the interview, he definitely overheated my computer and my microphone.
Oh yeah, it was a real mess.
This is dangerous.
This is a borderline dangerous episode to listen to. But no, I mean it was a cool conversation, man. What was I gonna say? He starts off, you get to know a little bit about Kyle, kind of his story, how he came to be. Pretty interesting story, how he got into the business and the job. Obviously, we'll let you listen and hear that, but just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to sound biased or a homer, but Boston media just has some cool dudes. Like, we had Mike Giardi, we had Michael Hurley, Cedric Maxwell, Nick Gelso, all sorts of guys, who are cool enough to come on and really just not for nothing, just basically shoot the shit with us for an hour, but also, that they know what they're talking about, which makes it even better.
Yeah. They definitely don't embody I was gonna say they don't embody the reputation of the stereotypical Boston person. They've been super cool. And when we think that like the interview's over, most of the time these guys are like, you guys want to keep going? Yeah. So it's been a pleasure and definitely been very fortunate to get in touch with these guys.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. Hey, if any of you guys are still listening to the show for any reason after coming on it, we appreciate you coming on and continuing to listen. So at this point, dude, I'm more excited now. Obviously, we got some new guests and some people coming up. Actually, we have a lot of guests coming up, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's going to be a busy week.
It's going to be a hell of a week. But I'm actually more excited to start rotating these guys back in. You know what I mean? We don't have to. Yeah. I don't want to say half, but, we don't have to worry about, introducing these guys to the audience as much and everything like that. We can just, I'm looking forward to having these guys back on to talk Celtics, to talk Patriots, to talk whatever the hell else is going on. And just really, continue that friendship of the program type of thing. So a lot of exciting things going on in a very relatively short period of time. So it's exciting. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of, big developments, we want to give a huge thanks. I think calling it a shout out would be an understatement, but a huge thanks to a friend of mine from, let's see here. I think we met in first grade, Alan Gessick. If you're watching the show, if you subscribe, if you look at the YouTube icon and the podcast logo, you'll notice that we've got some new art up there. That's gonna be the the cover for the show going forward. And I don't even know where to begin. Like when you and I were talking about this picture, when he sent it back to us, we gave him a pretty general idea. And he turned us into like,
no, we should tell him what picture we sent it to frame it off of. It was like a random picture of Jay-Z and who else was he with? Some old
I think it was
guy.
A producer. Yeah. Celebrating 444, I think that's his last album, going platinum. Yeah. Right. So that's what this is based off of.
Hey, can you take this and turn it into me and my friend, but also have Celtics banners and Patriots banners, and all this other shit as well? Oh, can you have it to us in like 5 days? All right, thanks. And then it's like, so no, that was like super dope, obviously.
Yeah, if you guys again, if you're still listening for some reason, look him up on Instagram at Alan Gesick 007. That's Alan GESEK 007. He's got, let's see here, he's got 2,300 posts, and they're all phenomenal pictures. So if you look at our picture, it's a combination of, if I had to guess, I didn't ask him, but I believe that we, Dan and I, we're drawn to scale, which is pretty funny. Like, I didn't even tell him how tall Dan was, but Dan is clearly 6'3" in the picture, and he nailed me being 5'7", which is cool, I guess. But like, he drew us, and I think that some of the other things were maybe a little like computerized or whatever. Either way, if you look at that picture, but also look at his posts. His illustrations are phenomenal, and I think he does talented medical illustrations for hospitals and stuff. Like, he does the graphics for, if you need to see different body parts and anatomy, stuff like that. So pretty cool. I can see why they would hire him. They didn't take my application. I don't know why.
Some of his like superhero, more like comic-y stuff is outstanding. Like, super dope. Like, really cool. So yeah, definitely check that. We'll put it in the show notes again. But yeah, Alan, thanks again, man. Huge help. Huge. I think it's a huge step. I think I was actually really proud of how that came out, and able to highlight that. We had some really cool people reach out to us over the weekend and say, looks fire, whatever. But no, I'm looking forward to working with him for some more stuff in the future. I'd highly encourage anyone else listening who might see that and have a similar idea, shoot him a message. Super responsive too, which was one of the coolest parts about it. Like, when you first shot him that idea like a week ago, I was like, all right, man, if we can get this by like the end of the year, that'd be really cool going into 2021. Then fucking a week later,
hey man,
very minimal changes needed. So cool. No, very exciting there. What I don't know what else is going on before we jump into Drapes.
I would say not more exciting news, but equally exciting news. We got our first sponsor.
Okay.
And
I didn't know about this.
Yeah. This is crazy. I'm looking at the ad read right now, so I'll try to get through this without screwing it up. I read this once to myself, and I was like, this doesn't seem to, it makes sense, but it's not what I would have written.
Okay.
I guess you'll see.
I guess so.
So anyways, our the Morse Code Podcast first ad read comes from yellowpages.com. Yellow Pages has been at your service since 1998, uniting everyone to local businesses of all types near you. Whether you're looking for a pizza shop, a pet store, or a Portuguese pinky ring surgeon, we've got you covered. Right now, as a listener of the Morse Code Podcast, yellowpages.com is offering an exclusive discount for our services. With Labor Day coming up in about a month, what better time to look up a telephone number? Right now, right this very second, if you hop on yellowpages.com/Morse code, you'll get 25% off your next trip to their website. That's yellowpages.com/MORSECODE for 25% off your next purchase. In a world full of words, don't forget numbers.
Okay. Shout out Yellow Pages. Please don't use that product code if you're buying a phone book for any reason. I don't believe that's a real ad. If anybody, you know what? That's a good test run in case anyone does want to sponsor the show. I would suggest writing the ad read yourself if you're one of those companies. I would demand that you write it yourself if you're one of those companies who want to work with us. But that's that. Let's do this. Before we get canceled, let's get right into the Kyle Draper interview, see what he has to say. And believe it or not, we did not scare Kyle Draper away, and he stuck with us the whole time. Huge win.
Big win. Very unexpected.
Let's get into Drapes.
All right. See you guys later.
Cool. All right. Welcome back. Morse Code Podcast. Dan Morse, Soapy Priap, the Cambodian Prince. As you can see, we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Draper, Celtics pregame and postgame on NBC Sports Boston. Kyle, how are you, bud? Thanks for rocking with us tonight.
What's up, fellas? I'm doing well, man. Excited about the Celtics. They're playing well right now. The playoffs are about to begin. I'm ready, man. I'm just happy basketball is back.
No kidding, man.
Hell
Absolutely.
yeah, dripped up and draped out.
Good news all around. So Kyle, obviously, not obviously, there could be some listeners we have who currently reside under a rock who are in the local area and follow the Celtics. Real quick, why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about yourself, what you do with NBC Sports Boston, and anything else you think our listeners might want to know before we dive into it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've been at NBC Sports Boston for 11 years. I'm the host of pre and post game live, do halftime live. I do some sideline reporting. I filled in for Mike Gorman, done some play-by-play, man, and grew up a huge basketball fan, and it's an honor. The crazy thing is I grew up in Philadelphia, and I was born in 1975, so the 80s were my heyday. You know what I mean? I was a young kid. And I'll keep it real. I hated the Celtics back then, man. I hated your boy Larry Bird. That's like, I know exactly. I was a Dr. J, and I'll keep it real. I was a Magic Johnson fan too. And so that's my background, man. I've always been a diehard basketball fan, ever since I could remember. And it's crazy now to be talking Celtics every single day. And it's been great, man. When you think about the winningest franchise in NBA history and to be around it every day and, to work, but actually just talk basketball for work, man, I can't ask for anything more.
No, definitely, man. So that actually brings up a good point. So I was going to ask you a little bit more kind of in general, like kind of a little about your story, how you came to be, but let's just skip right to Boston. So you're a Philly kid, Philly fan, you hate Larry Bird. How did you end up covering the Celtics?
It's crazy because I used to work in Louisville, Kentucky. Before this, I was doing some sports stuff covering University of Louisville, University of Kentucky. And I remember I got the opportunity here, and my mom was like, "You're not moving to Boston. We hate Boston, remember?" And I said, "Mom, but at the time, this was in 2009. So the Celtics were a year removed from a title. The Patriots were winning, obviously. The Red Sox had won in 2007. And so I was saying to myself, you know what, Mom? When you watch ESPN, every A block, a Boston team is in the lead, right? They're always talking about the Red Sox or the Celtics or the Bruins or the Patriots. And I said, it's a great sports market. And so when I came here in 2009, I was just a general reporter. I covered them all. I covered Patriots, Red Sox, you name it. But the bosses obviously saw that basketball was my biggest interest. And I remember my first major assignment was covering the 2010 NBA Finals, Celtics-Lakers. And think about it. A kid growing up in Philly, grew up a Lakers fan, grew up an NBA basketball fan, to be covering Lakers Celtics in the finals, that's crazy. That's like, to me, the greatest rivalry in all of sports. And so to be covering that, and so here we are, almost 11 years later since I've been here in Boston, man. And it like I said, Boston was never on my radar.
Yeah.
I didn't like the city, growing up. I didn't like the teams, but now this is home. And so it's crazy how that works out.
Yeah. Title town. Where else would you want to be?
Exactly. If you're a sports fan, right? Where else would you want to be? No doubt.
So let me ask you, that was – sorry, go ahead. So,
where'd you go to school, Kyle?
So I started out at Temple University in Philly. This is going way back in like the early 90s. So I'm an old dude. And we had a pretty good basketball team then. This was John Chaney. They had Aaron McKee, Eddie Jones. But then I met a girl who went to a small school in Minnesota. And she's like, if you're going to be with me, you got to come out here. And I transferred to Winona State University in Minnesota. And what's crazy, guys, is I was a civil engineering major. Never thought about sports broadcasting.
Wow.
But I couldn't pass this one math class. Like, I failed it at Temple, and I dropped it at Temple, and then I dropped it again at Winona State. And so I failed this class and dropped it twice, and it was a math class. And I'm like, dude, this ain't working out for you. And my roommate at the time, he was a sports broadcasting major. And I said, let me give this a shot. I like sports. I like watching it on TV. Let me just try it out. And then bam, sure enough, one thing led to another. Here we are.
Yeah, that's sick. Probably one of the best things that's ever happened to you is failing that damn test. It's
right,
crazy,
like
how
it,
shit
man.
like that happens.
It's like you have a failure, but it turns into something positive, and so it's cool, man. I'm glad it worked out
phenomenal.
this way.
That's great, man. So, quick question. So, going back to around that time when you first got it started, I know you mentioned you covered some other New England sports as well. When did you fully transition over to hoops, or I guess the Celtics in general? I'm trying to think.
Fully in 2013. So when Brad Stevens first came over.
Okay, cool.
You know, I became the pre and post game host then. So when the Celtics sort of had a new start, but I was always covering the team.
Right.
You know, and I was filling in. I would do some sideline reporting. I would travel. And so basketball, I would say I probably did about 60% basketball and then 40% other stuff. And then in 2013, it jumped up to like 85, 90% basketball. And so, you know, some of my fondest memories are, you know, covering KG and Paul Pierce and Ray Allen. I know we hate him out here, right? But he's still my guy. I'm still a big Ray Allen fan. And so, you know, it's crazy because when you travel with the team, especially with those guys, they were like rock stars, man. You get into a city at 3 a.m. and you got 50 people waiting at the hotel just to get a glimpse of them. Or you leave for a game, you walk out of the hotel and it's 100 people across the street just waiting for an autograph or a picture or something, man. So it's, you know, not, I mean, there are a lot of NBA stars, but when you look at this Celtics franchise, dude, and just how worldwide they are, I mean, you go out on the West Coast for a road game and 50% of the fans are Celtics fans. It just shows you just how big that brand is.
I was going to say that even when the Celtics are at their worst, it's kind of like the Lakers, the Cowboys, the Yankees. When they travel, they still have that star appeal, regardless of how good their individual players are.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I'll tell you guys a quick story. I went over to a couple years ago, I went to Ireland and did a meetup with Celtics fans. You know, we met at a bar and, you know, we had like 20 Celtics fans gathered in a bar. Same thing in London last year. I went to England, you know, and it's just cool to see so many fans, you know, people who are in different time zones. You know, games may come on at 2 or 3 a.m. in London, but, you know, people are still tweeting us from there because they stayed up to watch the game. It's crazy just how international that brand is.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, it's funny you mentioned stories too, because we had when was it? It was probably like a month or so ago. Soap. We had Greg Dickerson, who I know used to work over there too. Yeah. He was telling some KG stories, and it's like you picture Greg Dickerson, you picture KG, two people on the complete opposite ends of the spectrum as far as like personality goes and stuff. But dude, he's like, I love covering the Celtics, best job I've ever had. But I'll admit, KG used to scare the shit out of me whenever I used to like go talk to him, or like word would pass around like, yo, like, man, KG's looking for you. I don't know what you said, but he's pissed.
Right.
Just like stories like that.
Dude, I got to tell this KG story because I have like a love-hate relationship with him, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure Greg felt this too. And so like the first time I walked on the team plane, I'm young still. I'm new to town. I'm just trying not to get in anybody's way. And so I walk on the plane and all I hear is a big booming voice. Damn, they let anybody on this MF plane. And I know he's talking about me, but you know, you can't be like, KG, what the hell are you talking about? You know, so I put my head down and he's like, Jeff, talking to the PR guy, why are we just letting any motherfucker on this plane? And I'm like, oh man, this dude is talking about me, right?
Yeah, we do, Kevin.
Right, exactly, right, exactly. And what you going to do about it, right? You know what I mean? And then another time we had practice and, you know, it's social media. So I'm taking some pictures and video of practice. And he's like, damn, y'all MFers want to take pictures of us? Y'all like a bunch of girls out here. Why don't y'all go take pictures of something? And so, you know, you walked on eggshells around KG, but I'll tell you really quick, he looked out for me. This is 2012, maybe. The All-Star game was in Houston, maybe even 2013. I can't remember. And I told my boss, I said, you send me, I'm getting a one-on-one interview with Kevin Garnett. Now, mind you, KG had just was like, dang, they let anybody on this plane, or why y'all taking pictures of me on practice? So for the weeks leading up to the All-Star game, I'm working behind the scenes. I'm talking to his manager. I'm talking to his agent. I'm talking to his family member. 2 days before I go to Houston for the All-Star game, they say, Kevin Garnett will do the interview with you. So we get to Houston. He does all his media stuff. And then he's like, all right, come on. So we go to this back room, and it's just me, the photographer I was with, KG, and his manager. And we chopped it up for 20 minutes, just us. And, you know, I'll never forget that. And so Kevin Garnett's a pain in the ass, but he looked out for me in that case. So, you know, I'll always be thankful about that, man.
So that's a great story, but I also want to ask you this because this caught me a little off guard, and Greg kind of brought us up to speed on this. Did you know KG was a huge Family Guy fan? Was that like a well-known thing?
I did not know that.
That's all he was talking about. So he told the story. I'll shoot you the episode. You should check it out sometime. He basically, I guess, like Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy guy, was in LA, I think, at the Staples Center. And, you know, KG like calls him over. He's like, yo, like, I love this effing show. Do Brian, do Peter Griffin, do all the impressions, dude. It was just absolutely hysterical story. But it's like, that's stuff you would never know as a fan, obviously.
Right.
Like you said, like KG just talks and talks and talks. You watch a game from the minute the ball is tipped to the last, you know, fourth quarter ends, his mouth does not stop moving, like talking. Yeah. And it sounds like he's like that, just like in his free time too. But cool. So we'd be renowned if we didn't, you know, take the opportunity to talk to you about the current Celtics, everything that's going on right now. One question I had, I guess, is kind of just NBA in general. I'm curious to see what you think, because two of us have talked about this before. So going into the bubble, whatever you want to call it, the 8-game, I don't know, seeding games, regular season games, whatever you want to call it. What were some of your, I don't know if you want to goals or hopes or expectations, but what were some things you were hoping to see from Boston during these 8 games? And I guess, you know, have you seen things you like? Are you satisfied so far? What are your thoughts so far as we kind of head into the playoffs?
That's a good question. You know, I wanted to see so many things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was Tatum still that alpha dog? Was he going to pick up right where he left off? He's been okay. He's had his moments, but then he's sort of been, you know, that's the thing. You know, when we talk about Tatum now, we grade him differently than we used to. 19 points, that's not a good, you know, that's a ho-hum night for Tatum now, you know. I want to see 25, 30 every single night. And so that was one of the question marks. Obviously, Kemba Walker. Remember, he was banged up before the pandemic even hit, and then he comes back and, you know, after 4 months, we're still dealing with knee issues. And so I think the jury is still out on him. Like, I still haven't seen enough evidence to make me think Kemba's going to be 100% and, you know, we're going to have him every night in the playoffs. That concerns me. The bench, right? Who's going to step up? You know, to me, that's like the biggest concern, bench and big men. And so the last couple of games, we've seen Robert Williams get extended play. Has he, you know, leapfrogged Enes Kanter in that rotation? It seems to be. But can he do that against Embiid? Can he do it against Giannis and the Lopez brothers? And
in a series, too, not just a game.
Right,
exactly. A few days a week.
We've seen flashes from Robert Williams before, you know, but we need consistency from him. And so Gordon Hayward, too, right? I mean, there's so many things I want to see, but I've actually been pleasantly surprised with Hayward. He's played well all throughout. You know, I know we're talking a lot about Jaylen Brown, and rightfully so, but Gordon Hayward has balled out every single game also. And so this team, to me, is poised to make a deep run. I think the playoff seeding is going to fall in place. Ben Simmons is hurt. Embiid's banged up. So bring on the Sixers. Let's go. You know, they're still having issues. I'm cool with that matchup. Second round, Toronto. And I like the Raptors. But if the Celtics are playing at their best, give me the Celtics in that matchup. And then the Bucks. Everybody's crapping on Milwaukee. I'm worried about them. That's the team I'm worried about in the East. There's a reason they have the best record in the NBA. They got the best player, arguably, in Giannis. They're a better team than the team that beat us a year ago. And so I'm a little worried about the Bucks. But, you know, if you're a Celtics fan, you got to be happy with what you've seen so far.
I think so, too. I mean, going into it, I think the seeding was pretty solidified. I mean, 3 worst case scenario, we dropped to a 4, right? So the win-loss wasn't a big concern for me. I mean, if we went 0-8, no, that's not a great look. That's not ideal. But, you know, we get out of here healthy, get some guys comfy, get guys like Kemba back on track, Hayward going, stick around that 3 seed. Really all you can ask for. So at this point, how many games are left? Like 2 or 3?
2 games left.
2 games left. Okay. Yeah. I'm ready to get to the playoffs. I mean, even the rest of the league, correct me if I'm wrong, are there any big question marks left as far as seeding and opportunities besides the 8 seed in the West?
Well, you got the 4 or 5 seed, right? Miami, Indiana. They played 2 times, one tonight, you know, after we're taping this, and then one on Friday, I think it is. So that still has to be set. I think, you know, in terms of seeding, you look out West, Dallas could get up to 6.
Dallas is sneaky,
OKC, Utah, that 4, 5, 6, 7 out West is still up in the air, but man, you know, the teams are pretty much set, right? I mean, I think, you know, 15 out of the 16 teams are already set.
Okay. So who's playing in the finals?
Ooh, dang. You're supposed to warm me up for that, right? You can't.
Hey, right down to business. Brass
if
tacks.
I'm keeping it real and not giving you Homer talk.
Nope.
I'm sure you've had a lot of Homer talk on here before.
Certainly.
I'm going Milwaukee and the Clippers.
Right,
LeBron's great out west. AD's great, but the Clippers, man, they got like 12 players. They can go deep. And so I got the Clippers coming out, and I think Milwaukee, their supporting cast, people, crapping on. Middleton's a multiple-time All-Star. They got talent, man. They go deep. And so I got Milwaukee and the Clippers.
Yep. Clippers, they have two players finalists for Sixth Man of the Year.
Crazy, right? Two players
That's
off
absurd.
The bench averaging close to 20 points a game. That's unheard of, right?
Absurd. Cool. No, that sounds good. I agree with that. I think Milwaukee's going to be a tough out.
That's not laughable or blasphemous.
No, that's not a piping hot take. That's a lukewarm take. I don't know. Yep. From a professional who actually knows what the hell he's talking about.
But let me give you this, Dan. And Sophie.
Please.
The team that you better watch out for, the upset special, the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
They are my sleeper to make the final because of the bubble, right? I mean, it's like a glorified pickup game, no crowd, no fans, 3-pointers will be raining. I think, if Houston gets hot from three, like James Harden's going to be great. We know that. He had 4 months off to rest up. He should be fully charged now. Houston, don't sleep on them out west.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I feel like Houston's a sleeper pick every year, and then they just stink. Right. You get beat by someone. But I don't know. So let me kick it over to you for a little bit while about 10 minutes left or so. What do you want to talk to Kyle about? What's on your little mind?
The Philly roots. I'm going to bring those back up.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So this is kind of you can consider a rapid fire, or you can give whatever answer you have. But I have a bunch of Philly Boston things that I want to hear your take on. All right. Philly cheesesteak versus clam chowder / like a lobster roll.
Dude, where you going with that? No-brainer, man. It's Philly cheesesteak all day.
Oh my god!
Have you guys had Philly cheesesteak? You can't speak on it if you haven't had an authentic.
Not a real one. Exactly. So what's the classic? Like, what's the classic Philly cheesesteak? The two restaurants, the two guys that go back, Geno's and something.
Pat's and Geno's.
Pat's and Geno's.
Nah, that's like going to some tourist trap here in Boston. You don't do that. You need to go into the neighborhoods. Give me a Philly cheesesteak all day.
Got you.
But if I'm trying to be healthy. All right, I might go with a lobster roll or something like that. The cheesesteak, as good as it is, it's not healthy for you, man.
So we're real quick. So speaking of like now that you are in the Boston media now, where do you like to eat around Boston? Any good restaurant recommendations or anything like that?
No, that's okay. I don't know, man. I never go to the same restaurant twice, believe it or not. Like I'm just date night. It's like, all right, let's try this place out. Let's try that place out. I do the Stragas and places like that, Empire, stuff like that. But I don't have a go-to that I love, to be honest with you. Maybe I need to get out more when this pandemic is is over.
No kidding.
Have a spot where like Cheers, where I walk in and it's like, great,
Kyle,
we got your table for you right here,
That's
that kind
the dream.
of thing. Yeah.
Yep. That's the dream.
I don't know, man. I gotta politely disagree. I know you don't want my answer, but I'm gonna give it anyways. You have to go with the lobster roll. I'll tell you why. The lobster roll is like it's not a year-round thing, and number two, when you do get to that point of the year, there's such a not romantic like lovey-dovey, but like there's an image that you think of when you think of lobster roll. It's like you're sitting out on the water, you're looking out at a good view. When I think cheesesteak, I picture like a stand. I always picture a stand or a food truck for some reason. And that's where like the best ones come from. And I also think that you can make a cheesesteak much easier than you can make a good lobster roll.
Let me say something that might be controversial though.
Oh shit! Here we go.
Lobster roll is overrated.
Oh, lobster roll stink.
It's so overrated.
Okay.
They're like $25, and the lobster roll is just like this big. Dude, if you get a real Philly cheesesteak, you go to my spot, De La Sandro's, Explorers Den, somewhere like that in Philly. It's like this big. $6 or $7, you have one of those, you're good all day. You don't need to eat anything else all day.
So if Celtics are in Philly, and if you guys are in there as well, are you taking the crew around Philly, showing them around? grabbing cheesesteaks,
they
NBC
can't go to my
guys?
spots, man. They're not ready for my spots, Big Valley. No, I
No,
can't.
you're not taking Scal out for an authentic
Scal ain't
cheesesteak?
ready to come to my
No.
neighborhood, man. I
I
can't
got
do
you.
that.
All right.
He's not ready
All
for
right.
that.
We'll have to get Scal on and ask him the same questions and see what he thinks.
Exactly. No,
he didn't take you for a little tour of Italy through Boston and get you a legit lobster roll and all that stuff.
You know what's
Whatever
so
Olive
crazy?
Garden. I don't know.
Olive Garden, right? That's where he'd take me. Scal and I don't hang out. We used to when I first started, but we're like the odd couple. We disagree on almost everything. So
that's what makes it work so well.
Yeah, we keep our relationship strictly professional. On TV is what you see.
Okay.
We're not going out to lunch or chopping it up afterwards or nothing like that. And there's
We'll
no beef or nothing like that. It's just we recognize we see the world differently a lot.
Yeah.
When this pandemic is over, the Morse Code podcast is going to bring you and Scal together. We'll take you out to lunch.
Let's do it.
Lobster rolls only, though.
Yep.
Lobster rolls and cheesesteaks.
That's what we need, like a taste test. You know what I mean? A challenge.
Yep.
If these teams met up in the playoffs, I'd have mom and dad send up some cheesesteaks. We get some lobster rolls, and we have.
That's great content.
What's best?
I could see that work.
Great content.
I could.
All right. What do you got, Soap?
Any movie from the Rocky series versus The Departed?
Ooh,
Dave.
Yeah, good question.
I'm gonna go The Departed. I think although Rocky 2 I did like. I liked Rocky 2 and Rocky 4, but Rocky series is overrated, in my opinion. I know that's crazy to say.
Melted my computer screen.
My goodness.
I know. No, I'm going The Departed. That's one of the all-time greats.
Great flick. And,
Rocky series played out.
Being a Philly guy, have you done a early morning jog up the steps and did the Rocky celebration? You can tell us. Come on. No one's listening.
And, that's the thing. When you're from Philly, you don't do that.
Good point. You probably hate this shit.
I never visited the Liberty Bell until like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? You don't do those touristy things.
I was going to ask you if you ring that like once a week or something. Growing up.
Hey, the Sixers should let me do it, right? They have the gong at their arena. They should let me do that. No, but when you're living somewhere, you don't spend the time doing as many of the tourists.
No, I totally agree. You know I live, my wife and my family, we live in Portland, Maine area. So it's known for like the headlight and all this stuff. And over the summer, well, not this summer, but usually over the summer, it's swamped and there's people taking pictures and this and that. Right. And it's like, dude, we see that shit every day. Like that's right. We don't need to do that.
Exactly.
You look silly. Yeah. Okay. So right now it's 1-1 between Boston and Philly as far as these face-offs.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Kevin Hart versus Patrice O'Neal. Wow. And you can take that any way you want. Like you can rule out Kevin Hart's movies and just go like stand-up versus stand-up, or you can incorporate their TV stuff, TV movies.
See, this is like they're gonna revoke my Philly card. I think Kevin Hart's overrated. I don't think he's that funny. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a Kevin Hart fan, so
I'm gonna have to tell him.
I know.
He's coming on next.
He's going to hear this. I know, right? He's going to be mad at me. Oh, my Philly peep. I'm not a Kevin Hart guy. It sucks, I'm just not.
I think he's kind of taken a gradual decline a little bit. When he first came out, he was hilarious, but the more Jumanji movies you do is never a good look, I think.
I feel like maybe he tries too hard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's better in interviews where he's being himself rather than either in movies or I liked his early stand-up, like his first two I thought were really good. Yeah. But then once he got commercial, I don't know if you watched those, but he tried too hard to be himself, which is, I don't know if that even makes sense, but I was like, nah, he's just, it's become like a shtick, too obviously a shtick now.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
All right, so we need one more.
Last one. And actually, I'm not even a huge fan of either of these guys, so I don't even have a take on this, but Meek Mill versus Joyner Lucas.
Oh, I got to go Meek Mill. I'm not even a huge Meek Mill fan. You should have been like Beanie Siegel or something like that. You know what I mean? But no, give me Meek Mill. The thing about Meek is I feel like he's at his best when he's on the track with somebody else too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could get in a, 100% Meek. Like I can't listen to Meek all day,
Right.
It's just something about him, but give me Meek on that one. I like Joyner too, but give me Meek.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Tory Lanez?
Yeah.
This is a hot take. No, he's not. He's from Toronto.
You got a hot take coming?
I do. This is a very hot take.
Not gonna
I
lie,
would.
folks.
Do you have your AC on where you are?
I do.
Okay, good. Whew.
I'm gonna have to crank it up a little bit.
Yeah, get it down to 62 if you can.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I think Tory Lanez, if he didn't, no, let me put it this way: if Meek Mill did R&B, he'd be Tory Lanez.
That's disrespectful, though, right? That's come on, man.
No,
You
I
gotta
don't mean
put
it as
more of it-
disrespect.
I don't know.
Certainly
I
not
don't know.
respectful.
Like, Tory's okay, right? I mean,
I think it's the tone. I don't mean like in terms of quality at all.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Meek Mill is way better, but I think in terms of like cadence and their voices, I
Yeah,
actually think
yeah.
that their
All right,
voices
all right.
sound pretty similar.
yeah.
All right.
Dude,
Quick question.
Want to get into Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez or something like that, and what
No.
went down.
Oh,
I don't know about
No.
that. I don't know
We're
about
not
that.
ready for that yet.
That's when
Um,
Kevin Hart comes on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You should
You're
right.
stealing all our
Let's talk
thunder, man. Before we let you go, real quick, I saw this on Instagram a week, maybe a little bit ago. You were hooping yourself.
Yeah.
I think you had the 34s, the ones Tatum wears, right? Something
Yeah,
new?
yeah. I got him in
And
the closet.
you sounded like you liked them. So question, what's your favorite shoe to play in, and what's your favorite like casual shoe? Or like
So
the shoe to
casual,
wear
I'm a
out?
big Air Force One guy. Like,
Okay.
Ooh,
that's
okay.
my thing.
Standard.
Air Force Ones, you know.
Are you like
Um,
Dr. Dre, where you wear a new pair every single day?
No, I wish I had it. Like, I'm trying to get a deal, man. If we know of anybody handing out deals, hook it up.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you which shoe I don't like to play in, and this is nothing against this dude,
Uh-huh.
but Kyrie's. I can't play in
They're
Kyrie's.
heavy, right?
Like,
They're a little bulky.
they're heavy. They're hard to get on. It's just, you know,
Mhm.
I just don't like Kyrie's, you know. I got some Giannis's in here that feel good, but these Tatum.
I was just gonna say that I've heard multiple people say the Giannis shoe
Yeah,
is
I like
very
the
light, very
Giannis's.
comfy.
I like that. I haven't tried LeBron's or KD's yet.
Yeah.
But these Tatum 34s, man, I really like them.
Yeah.
Those are comfortable. It was funny because I wore them that first game against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And Tatum wore them also. And he sucked, dude.
I think you outplayed him.
2 of 18. And Scouts like, see, Drapes, it's because you're wearing his sneakers. Don't ever wear those sneakers again. So I haven't worn them again since then, and he's played better. So,
Nice.
but yeah,
Just never wear them
man.
again. We're good.
I can't do the Kyries though. I just
Those are a
can't.
little bulky. So how often do you play?
Not much anymore because of the pandemic. You know what I mean? It's sort of shut me down. But I had put out there probably 6 months ago because I used to run all the time. Used to play all the time, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But, you know, I'm up here on the 128 corridor up here, and I just couldn't find a noon, like a midday pickup run because I work at night.
Yeah.
And so I finally found a spot, Boston Sports Club in
cool.
Woburn. They play at noon every day, but then the pandemic hit, and so I haven't been back.
Have
Real
you
quick.
played with Scal?
I have played with Scal. And if you guys have Scal on the podcast, ask him about this. Scal knows I have skills.
Okay.
Scal knows I crossed him up and hit him with a step back.
Oof.
We should have been rolling on it. Somebody should have filmed it because to this day, I keep teasing him about it. You got crossed up by a 40-something-year-old washout. You know what I mean?
That's why he doesn't want to hang out with you outside of work.
Right. I embarrassed him. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No,
you know
we'd
what?
love to get Scal on. Hey, if you can put in a word to Scal, shit, man, we'd love to have him on.
I may get him on, you know, but like I said, I don't talk to Scal outside.
Yeah, I know. I'm just playing.
It's, you know, we stay separate.
So cool. So I know we're coming up on time. Before we let you go, man, I want to make sure, give you a second. Where can people find either on social media or on TV and everything?
Kyle Draper TV. That's the Twitter handle, Instagram handle, I think. Might be Facebook too. I'm on Snap also. You know, I'm out there, man. And obviously you can see me pre and post game and halftime of all the Celtics games. We got the first round on our air too, man. And I'm looking forward to the playoffs and everything. And I don't know if you guys been watching the pre and post game show recently, but we got my boy Kendrick Perkins on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So we're chopping it up with him, man. So we're just having so much fun with it. So yeah, man, I'm accessible. I'm touchable, man. Just hit me up.
Man. No, I was going to say, Kyle, really cool guy. So thanks for making some time for us. Sorry, go ahead, Soap, before we sign off.
No, I was going to say, I have seen footage of the media game that you played in. I don't know if it's the same game that you were talking about. So I have seen some footage of Kyle Draper hooping. So you're not lying.
Yeah, it's one play where
they kind of did you dirty on the clips that they showed.
Dude, that pisses me off. I'm glad you brought that up. Here's how my station operates. And I could score 20 points. I could be killing it. I could make the game winner. But the only thing they're going to show on TV is me missing shots, me falling down. You know what I mean? I could be the best player out there. But no, it's like, let's make fun of Kyle. You know, that pisses me off. And then they won't give me the tape, the footage, so I could put out my own highlight reel. Yeah. So it's all good, though.
You know how we can make this better?
What?
If we'll end up taking you out to lunch. And when we do with Scal, we're going to pay your tab, but not his.
Yeah, that'll even it
Hey,
out.
you know what? Y'all some cool dudes, man. I might have to send y'all. You seen some of these, right?
What do you got? Oh, this Drapes' guy? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Guy,
oh, hell yeah.
I got him, man.
I would love that, man.
On orders. I'm gonna have to hook y'all up, no doubt.
Definitely, man. We'll talk after the show. That'd be great, and then we'll send you some of our stuff too.
Yeah, do it for
sure. But again, I mean, talking about hoop, we know Hayward's leaving in a couple months for the birth of his kid. They're gonna need a flex 3, stretch 3,
That's
ready
true.
to go.
Hey, I got 6 fouls, man. You know, I come out there with 6 fouls. I'll help him out.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Kyle Draper, everybody from NBC Sports Boston. Kyle, thanks again for hopping on. And thanks for you guys for rocking with us. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thanks, Drapes.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Kyle.
Thanks so much.
Be good.
All right, man.